One pill of this medication can kill or disable you. It sounds like a horror movie, but it's true, and it happens. Here's my story. My name is Lauren, and in September of 2011, I was a high school social studies teacher of 5 years. I was sick with stomach issues, undiagnosed irritable bowel syndrome. My doctor thought maybe it was an infection and prescribed ciprofloxacin. I had no idea that a bomb was set off to go in my body. Roughly a month later, a wave of unwellness hit me. I couldn't get out of bed, function, or go to work. I had to leave my beloved teaching career. I had to move in with my boyfriend and spent years bed and housebound. My doctor diagnosed it as chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. She put me on antivirals for Epstein-Barr virus. I gradually improved to 50%. I got married and had 2 girls. I became a mom, a very tired one. We had to hire nannies for help. I became a chronic fatigue activist and tried to get research for a cure. I kept seeing doctors and trying treatments to try to improve. I got diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I even had a cervical spinal fusion to try to improve. The surgery itself was fine, but my nervous system had an absolute meltdown. I almost didn't make it. By 2022, after 4 hospitals and 3 psych wards due to level 10 full body pain, I couldn't tolerate my meds. They just made the pain worse, and I had an inability to sleep 100%. Doctors didn't understand and just kept putting me in the psych ward. Finally, after 3 months of absolute nightmare, I stabilized and was able to tolerate medication. I came home and eventually moved to Arkansas for a special pain program that just made it worse. In 2023, I was back at my baseline, about 50%. I just so happened to think I had a UTI. I went to urgent care and they tested my urine and said I had a urinary tract infection. I was worried I had an infection. The doctor prescribed Cipro. She just said that it was a broad spectrum antibiotic and would knock the infection out. This will be fine, I told myself when I took the first pill. The first night, I could not sleep. The next day, my hands and feet started to hurt. I thought it was just side effects that would go away. Then my whole body started to hurt, and I was in a full fibromyalgia flare. I looked up Cipro on Google and was absolutely horrified. I discovered Cipro is in the class of antibiotics called fluoroquinolones, ciprofloxacin, Levaquin, Avelox, and others. P.S. I didn't even have a urinary tract infection. Fluoroquinolones, according to the FDA, can have disabling lifelong side effects like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, connective tissue injuries, peripheral neuropathy. The list of adverse effects goes on for days. And also, the effects can happen almost immediately or can take months to show up after the last pill has been taken. It has 7 black box warning and should only be used as a last resort medication when safer alternatives have failed. The fluoroquinolone groups on Facebook have tens of thousands of members. This should never be given for a simple infection like a UTI. My husband swore up and down I had taken this before. He looked back through decades of medical records. I had taken it in 2011. I always wondered and sought to understand what disabled me back then. It was Cipro. I had been Floxed, which means that you took a fluoroquinolone and had an adverse reaction and became severely disabled or had lifelong injuries. Since I had been refloxed or become re-exposed in 2023. I went from 50% functionality down to 20%. Life went from feeling hard to impossible. I've lost all enjoyment of my life. My hands and feet have neuropathy. I miss riding my bike, reading to my kids, even simply understanding a TV series or a movie. I'm still trying to make the best of my life for my family and my kids. I cannot believe I am this sick again and sometimes want to give up. I will be working with a doctor telehealth in Australia that specializes in fluoroquinolone injuries. I'm trying to hold out hope that I can improve. The FDA knows that fluoroquinolone antibiotics ruin countless lives, and refuses to appropriately regulate them. All the time, new members of the fluoroquinolone groups wonder if they had been floxed. This is not right and pure corporate greed. Medical codes for fluoroquinolone injuries are coming out in October of 2025, thanks to activist Talia Smith. It's time for change and hope for those that have been injured by fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Much love and thank you. Can you believe that I even forgot to mention that I wrote a book about my stranger than fiction life? It's called Invisible Illness: Coming of Age, Chronic Illness, and a Mother's Will to Survive. It's available on Amazon. Please note, I wrote and published this book before I realized that my illness had been caused by fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Thank you.